This is Tyler Simonek doing British Literature Project for Dr. Gonzalez in response to how can British literature and interpreting the text be applied to the real world. So one of the things that I did is initially when I was reading one of our readings, specifically the Chimney Sweeper, um, basically it was about how a young boy is pretty broken up about losing his mother, and when I first read it I thought it was just kind of a tragic story. And then I went over to the discussion board, and the discussion board was, how is this in relevance to the young boy losing his innocence? And I really didn't think of it from that particular perspective. So I actually had to go back and read it again. When I looked at it through the loss of innocence lens specifically, I had a very different take. Yeah, so the young boy actually just lost all of his childhood and was thrown immediately into the work life, and really didn't get to enjoy a lot of the awesome things that a number of kids got to do as a child. So I was like, oh wow, that's pretty interesting, having to look at something through a particular lens and view, what the author was exactly trying to get across. Speaking of things of that nature, doing a critical review or reviewing a critical review that's actually something that I've never done. I myself am a science major, so when I go through and I read something, typically it's a little selfish. I'm usually doing research and doing a research paper, and I do a little bit of confirmation bias myself, so I'm looking for a very small piece of information to kind of confirm what I'm trying to say. So when we had to go through and write a paper over, a critical review, which is taking a particular, I guess you would say, perspective while reading a short story, and that's something that I've never done before. So I guess when I had to go through and kind of do that critical review, it made me try to interpret what the author was really trying to get across and what his main point was, rather than just small tidbits of information. So I guess with this whole course, I think it's really good and valuable to look at different stories and see different perspectives, and maybe see what lenses the author wants us to read his stories through, or their stories through, so we can gain insight to exactly what they're trying to convey. And I feel like that's really applicable through, our everyday actions, where, sometimes people will tell us a story where it's, where they're trying to convey something completely different, just so we can gain a little more insight of people's true intentions and their personality.